Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire, star of the new film Am I Racist, is joining us tonight. And Matt, it's good to have you on. We want to talk about the movie here in just a couple of minutes. But first, in 2020, they told us that Joe Biden was a moderate Democrat who was going to unite the country. We know exactly how that went, and now they're saying the exact same thing about Kamala Harris. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, you said it. We know exactly how that went with Joe Biden, and we also know that there is no such thing really anymore as a moderate Democrat. I mean, the mainstream of the Democrat Party has gone so far to the left that positions that are considered moderate now for Democrats would have been considered far left crazy talk even 10, 15 years ago. So that's just something that doesn't exist at all. And even in spite of the fact that the entire party has gone so far to the left, still Kamala Harris manages to set herself apart with how radically far left she is. So far left that even when there was I believe a CNN anchor yesterday who was shocked to discover that Kamala Harris supported sex change operations for migrants. So even people that are on the left are surprised when they find out what Kamala Harris's positions actually are, because she's not very open about talking about her real positions because she knows how crazy they are.
Yeah, and when you have the media in your corner, you can get away with being this far left and still have an election be close. What's amazing to me is that this election is close. That's what's terrifying. And for all his faults, Trump answers questions. As he says, he really is an open book. On Tuesday night, we watched Kamala Harris answer nothing in that debate. I mean, she answered nothing. She gave no specifics, and she just used these gimmicks to irritate Trump, and then she's largely declared the winner of the debate. And to me, I just think, is that really what politics is today? That's all it is?
That's what these debates are. That's why what we call debates, not really debates, because an actual debate is an exchange of ideas. It's a chance for two people to go back and forth and talk about something. A debate requires, you addressing and talking to the person you're debating. But when you have a moderator, of course, all of them are on Kamala's side, so it's 3 against 1 cage match, really. But when they, throw a topic out, they give you 60 seconds to talk about it. All that is, it's not an opportunity for debate. It's an opportunity for talking points and scripted, rehearsed answers, which is the only thing that Kamala Harris can do. So really it plays to her strengths. Donald Trump, on the other hand, likes to actually talk like a real person, which these kinds of debates just aren't set up for. So a lot of ways it plays, for that reason, it plays more to Kamala's strengths, if we can even call them that.
Yeah, strengths in quotation mark. You have this new film out. It's called Am I Racist? I've seen the trailer for this a couple of times. You're going undercover here. You're exposing this race-baiting DEI racket that has really exploded in this country in recent years. Let's go ahead and play a clip.
My 3-year-old daughter is her favorite princess is Moana.
Love it.
It's a good sign.
Yeah.
But then I also thought, there's a little bit of cultural appropriation here. She wants to be Moana for Halloween. Mm-hmm. So how do we navigate that? Do I go and buy the Pacific Islander native attire for my white 3-year-old?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
But I guess what we might call the Moana problem here is what, on one hand, there's cultural appropriation. On the other hand, there's gravitating towards white characters.
What a miserable existence these people have to live in. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, it is quite miserable, and it was kind of miserable to be in the same room as them. But the good news is that it makes for a very funny film, because our goal here is to expose the so-called anti-racist crowd, these grifters, DEI grifters, to expose them, to expose their worldview for the absurdity that it is, but also to mock it, because I think that mockery, comedy, laughter, these are really powerful, potent tools that for too long, the left we've kind of given them that playing field. We've abandoned it and let them have it. But there's just so much. I mean, there's so much room here. There's so much to mock. And that's what we do with the film. And so there's, you got the message, you have the entertainment and the comedy. And so I think people will enjoy it.
And some of these people have just made a fortune off of this grift as well. I wonder, if we just take it out of context for a second and just look at it. I mean, do you think we're doomed in this country to live like this forever. You know, I often wonder, have we gotten so comfortable in this country? Has life gotten so easy? We've obviously manufactured this problem as something to concern ourselves with. Are we going to have to walk on these eggshells forever, or is this going to fix?
I don't think it'll be forever. I think that, especially on the racial issues, you know, the kind of resentment, suspicion, guilt that we find, a lot of the racial divisions that we have in this country, they're being intentionally stoked by these race hustlers. And why are they doing it? Well, it's pretty simple. They have money. There's money to be made. There's power and influence for them. It's easy to manipulate people when you're using this kind of sort of racial strife. But if you stop listening, the good news is when you stop listening to them, when you get outside of their bubble, they have no more power. And you know, most normal people, I think, are not walking around every day worried about systemic racism and focused obsessively on these kinds of issues. That's what the grifters want. Yeah. And so the more that we can push them to the side and expose them and ultimately ignore them, the better.
Yeah, and mock them. Yeah, absolutely. Matt Walsh, Am I Racist? Thank you, Matt. We appreciate it.